Hey guys, it is me again. Today is Tuesday, April the 24th. That makes it day 115 on our Daily Bread Project 2012. Guys, I tell you, I don't know if this weather's ever going to straighten up. It's actually starting to last, 2 days we've had. Well, today wasn't too bad, but yesterday it was cold and dreary. Today it warmed up some. For the next foreseeable future, it's supposed to be warmer here, up in the 70s at least. But guess what it's doing right now? It's raining outside. It's supposed to rain tomorrow, maybe rain Thursday. I'll just tell you guys, I don't know. I at least pray. I know the weather's getting whacked out, and this whole world's getting whacked out. I know we're right on the precipice of the Lord stepping out on them clouds, but I would at least like to get to see one more just little section of good weather. One more, have a little bit of good summer weather, where it's good, warm at nights and hot during the day, and, weather like you should have, which I know we're not in summer yet, but still, you know what I'm saying. Good springtime, at least, weather, or summer weather, so maybe we'll get to see it, guys, before too long, but anyway, like I said, it's good to be here. I hope y'all are doing alright. I'm going to try to make this vid quick tonight, guys. I don't know why, but my video last night, let's see, the video I did the other night, Sunday night, I guess, was about 15 minutes long, and it was 80-some megabytes. That's about what a 15-minute video should be, 75 to 85 megabytes. Well, last night's video was 15 minutes long, and it was 130 megabytes. I still don't know why. It was almost double the file size. I don't know why. I've not put any more lights in. I've not changed anything. So, anyway, guys, I'm going to try to... It took me a little bit to upload that video last night, that's what I'm saying. And when you get lazy like I do and you wait till 2 o'clock in the morning to do it anyway, yeah. So, anyway, I'm going to try to get to the quick of everything as quick as I can tonight. Just want to thank you all for everything you do, praying for me. Brother Darren, it's good to see you getting back into the swing of things again, making more videos. I'm still praying for you, brother. As I pray for all you guys, you know that I do. So it is good to see that. Let's see what else. Normal stuff, guys. Just keep praying for me and my family and the church. Not got any money yet from the camper being sold, but according to the guy, talked to him yesterday, supposedly that's a done deal. He's just in the process of getting the money. So, like I said, he don't got to borrow it. That's a good thing. He's just getting it from, I don't know if he's pulling it from retirement or something. So he said he had to see his broker. So, he's pulling it from somewhere else. So, that's good. So, hopefully all that'll work out. I know the Lord will let it. So, talked to the boy. Actually, he texted me today, the boy on the motorcycle parts. He said, today he texted me, he said, I've got the money. I'll bring it to you Thursday. He was going to bring it to me tomorrow, but where he knows I got church and everything, he said, I'll bring it to you Wednesday evening. So, hopefully all that'll work out, guys, and at least it'll take the beginning of next week. I won't be able to do it this week, but by the beginning of next week, hopefully I'll be able to go send this crazy bunch their $5,000 so I can get my orders put in and actually become a dealer for them. So, excuse me, guys. So, having said that, guys, like I said, I may try to get you a video, and I know I didn't reload the video again, guys. I've been busy this evening. I've had to work on Mom's car a little bit, checking some stuff on it. I had a buddy stop by wanting me to sell a motorcycle for him, and I've been painting on my little test panel out there, trying to blend clear. So maybe tomorrow evening, if I can get that all, I'm gonna try to get it wet sanded down and see if it all does blend in. So if that turns out good or bad, either way, I probably will show it, because if it turns out bad, I'll need some of your guys' advice on how to do it better. So be looking for that, guys. And I guess saying that, let's get on into the important thing tonight. That is, of course, the Word of God. 2 Corinthians, guys, chapter 12, verse 1. Here we go. It is not expedient for me, doubtless, to glory. I will come to visions and revelations of the Lord. Now, my commentary over here says, it is not expedient, unless on so pressing occasion, visions are seen, it says, and revelations heard. So I just want to explain that a little bit, because I know that verse is a little bit confusing. I knew a man in Christ above 14 years ago, whether in the body I cannot tell, or whether out of the body I cannot tell. God knoweth, such and one caught up into the third heaven. And I knew such a man, whether in the body or out of the body I cannot tell, God knoweth. He, how that he was caught up into paradise, and heard unspeakable words, which it is not lawful for a man to utter. Of such as one will I glory, yet of myself I will not glory, but in my infirmities. Now, guys, a lot of people say this and don't know why he done it. And I'm not a theologian, and if you've got a different opinion on this, guys, that's fine. This is not a salvation issue. A lot of people think that Paul is actually talking about himself here. If you'll remember, guys, Paul was stoned. And you can read about it in 1 Corinthians, I think in Acts, both. Talks about it briefly, mentions it. Paul was stoned. So, they didn't stone people to hurt them. They stoned them to kill them. So, in my opinion, I think this is Paul talking about himself. I think Paul was killed. I think Paul was killed, and he was took up to the third heaven. Not that God made a mistake. Not that God said, oh, you're not supposed to be here, and send him back. But I think that God, he knew that Paul was going to do such great works for him, that he let Paul see a glimpse of heaven, of this third heaven. Paul was stoned, and I think the Lord sent, let him see a glimpse of it, and he sent him back, knowing what work he had to do. But what he's talking about here, guys, he's talking about that heaven is so great. And I preached on this 2 weeks ago, talking about heaven, and this is one of the things I hit on here. That he says the words to describe it are not lawful for a man to utter. It's so magnificent. So he's saying, of such a one will I glory, yet of myself I will not glory, but in my infirmities. He's saying here, guys, he's saying, I will glory for that. I will glory about that. But I will not glory of myself. He says, as a child of God, I can glorify in anything. He's saying I can even, the way I take it, he's finishing this, I can even glorify in my infirmities. Because I know they are of God, and I know God has did them for a reason. Verse 6, for though I would desire to glory, I shall not be a fool, for I will say the truth, but now I forbear, lest any man should think of me above that which he seeth me to be, or that he heareth of me, and lest I should be exalted above measure through the abundance of the revelations. There was given to me a thorn in the flesh, the messenger of Satan to buffet me, lest I should be exalted above measure. And he's also saying here, guys, he's saying that sometimes, and he even had it himself, now he's saying, I've got a thorn in my flesh. Paul's saying, I've got a problem that drags me down, that I fight with and I struggle with every day. He's saying the messenger of Satan to buffet me. So see, that's another thing, guys. When we get these problems and we get these afflictions in life, sometimes, we think, oh, well, it's God testing me. Or it's God teaching me patience, and it's God doing this and that. Well, sometimes it is, guys. But sometimes it's the devil doing it to you. Now, the good thing about it is, even when it is the devil testing you, when it's the devil bringing you down, dragging you down, when it's the devil that's got that screwdriver stuck in your side and twisting it, God can still use that. He knows it, and he can still use that for your good, for his good and for your good. So Paul's saying here, I've got this thorn in my flesh. And he's saying God, even though Satan's doing it, God is using it, lest I should be exalted above measure. Paul is saying, I know that if I did not have this thorn, and guys, we don't know what it is. That's nothing that theologians they argue about. What was this thorn that Paul this thorn in his side, this thorn in his flesh that Paul keeps talking about? What was it? What was it? What problem was it? That he kept struggling with so much. We don't know. But Paul's saying, even though the devil's doing it, or maybe God is using the devil to do it. Either way, or God's doing it himself. The Lord works in mysterious ways, we know. But anyway, what he's saying is, lest I should be exalted above measure. That could have been one of his things that the Lord knew. Hey, if I let Paul get too high and mighty, if I take his thorn out of Paul's side, he's going to get the big head, basically. He's going to think he's the greatest thing since Jesus Christ. He's going to think he's me, and he won't be able to do anything for me. So I'm going to keep that thorn in his side just enough so that he remembers who he is. Guys, sometimes that's the way it is with us. Like I've said before, sometimes the Lord won't take a problem away from us until we show him that we don't mind being in it. This is kind of the same thing. For our good, sometimes God will let that thorn stick in us a little bit, but it's for our own good. For this thing I besought the Lord thrice, that it might depart from me. He's saying, I even prayed, I even come before the Lord 3 times that he'd take it away from me. Verse 9 says, and he said unto me, my grace is sufficient for thee, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. Most gladly, therefore, will I rather glory in my infirmities, that the power of Christ may rest upon me. Paul's saying that I spoke to the Lord, and he spoke to me back. And he said, Paul, my grace covers it. You've got this problem. Yes, I'll agree, basically is what he was saying. But you know what? Through my grace and my power laying upon you, you can get through it. Because my strength is made perfect in your weakness. When you're the weakest, Paul, I'm the strongest. Guys, he does the same for us. He does the same for us. When we're the weakest, that's when he can be the strongest. Therefore, I take pleasure in infirmities, Paul's saying. How many of us can say that, guys, that we take pleasure in infirmities when things go wrong, when we don't feel good, when we're sick, when we have financial problems? These are all infirmities. These are all bad things in our life. In reproaches, in necessities, in persecutions. Paul's saying, when I need stuff and ain't got it, I can take pleasure in it because I know God's covering me, the Lord's covering me. When I'm being persecuted, he's saying I can take pleasure in it. In distresses for Christ's sake, for when I am weak, then I am strong. See, guys, that's what I just said. The Lord told him that when you're the weakest, I'm the strongest. Well, the key to that is we've got to remember, when we're the weakest, he's the strongest. But who do we get our strength from? We get it from him. So therefore, guys, in some of our worst shapes that we get into in our life, that's when we can lean on him and he can make us the strongest. We just got to realize who it is we get our strength from. Like I've said many times before, guys, and I know people, and like I said, I've seen, I could tell you handfuls of people that I have seen in the last 3 to 4 years since the economy's got bad and just different things happening in people's lives. Their kids may be growing up, becoming teenagers and becoming a little bit of problems for them. I have seen people that when they start getting these thorns pressed to them, the thorns of life, like I said, maybe losing big money jobs and now having to do, jobs where they make half or a quarter of what they used to make. And I'm one of those people, guys. I'm the same way. I make, on a good year right now, I'll make a quarter of what I made 10 years ago. Back 2000, 2001, 2002, up to 2008 probably, or whenever the bank, quit our floor plan. And that's the big thing that killed us. But, like I'm saying, I'll be lucky to make 25% this year of what I made for years. I went straight out of high school making $100,000 a year and did that for years. And then, like I said, now to be cut down to 25 or less. That's hard. I ain't going to admit it. I ain't going to say that it ain't. That's hard. But guys, I'm lucky that I do. I freak out sometimes and lose my faith a little. Not lose it, but let it wander. Yeah, but I still know that I got to lean on the Lord and rely on Him. I've seen a lot of people run away from Him when these things happen, guys, and I don't know how they do it. I honestly don't know how they do it, because we have to get our strength from Him. So anyway, guys, thanks for being here tonight. Tomorrow night we'll continue 2 Corinthians 12:11. This video is longer than I wanted it to be. Hopefully it won't be a huge megabyte scale, so hopefully it won't take too long to upload it. I love you all. As always, if you need anything, let me know. Good Lord willing, I'll be here tomorrow night, guys. Until I see you all again. Good night. God bless.